We saw the Caitlyn Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans.
People were willing to pay up to see Caitlyn Clark. This preseason game has now set the new ticket price high for anything that Caitlyn Clark, any game she has played in.
They clearly have a big three, right? It's Caitlyn, number first and foremost one, and then Aaliyah Boston, and then Kelsey Mitchell. And like, so those are your stars. That's the core of your roster.
History was made again, and this time it's bigger than ever. Caitlyn Clark just shattered another record, and with it, the Indiana Fever have ignited a movement that's about to take over the entire WNBA.
Caitlyn Clark, in that, has become arguably the most influential basketball player in the world, both on the men's and the women's side.
Ticket prices are exploding. Arenas are selling out in minutes. And preseason games, they're pulling numbers most playoff games could only dream of. This isn't hype. This is domination.
Average paid price of $440 per ticket.
The Indiana Fever aren't coming for respect anymore. They're coming for the title. And Caitlyn Clark isn't just leading the charge. She's rewriting the game itself. It started with a preseason game, just another exhibition on paper. No playoff stakes, no championship banners, just the Indiana Fever facing off against Brazil's national team.
Somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlyn Clark play ball.
But the moment tickets went live, everything changed. Within 15 minutes, the entire arena sold out. Fans paid an average of $440 just to be in the building. The most expensive seats? Over $2,300 on the resale market. And this wasn't for a regular season showdown or a finals appearance. It was for Caitlyn Clark's return to Iowa, to the very court where she became a household name.
Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena is the most in-demand event involving Clark, with a, quote, average paid price of $440 per ticket.
That game didn't just break records, it blew them wide open. It surpassed every college or pro ticket price Clark had ever touched, including the March 3rd, 2024 showdown, where she passed Pete Maravich's legendary scoring record. Back then, the average ticket was $411. This time, Clark beat her own history in a preseason game.
The WNBA saw a boom like we have never seen. We saw Caitlyn Clark come into the league. We saw the Caitlyn Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans who flooded to the WNBA, and many of those were there for Caitlyn Clark.
And it's not just a one-off. This is the new normal. In 2025, the Indiana Fever's home ticket prices have more than doubled from $92 to $197. Road games? Up from $171 to an eye-popping $272. That's a 59% spike in 1 year. Teams across the league are relocating their matchups to bigger venues just to handle the crowds.
Yeah, I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the offseason, is just trying to get stronger and really working on that. And really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me, and we were in here consistently. Like, I think that was the biggest thing for myself, is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger, and, you know, I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it, and, you know, it's going to help me offensively, it's going to help me defensively, it's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger, and, you know, even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it.
Caitlyn Clark isn't just filling seats. She's reshaping the economic model of the WNBA in real time. But this explosion isn't just happening in the stands. It's happening on the court. The Fever have gone from rebuild to contender at full speed. Clark isn't carrying a broken roster. She's commanding a well-built, war-ready team.
Journey goes for CC, right? Because I think many of us, look, she's 1 year in, but many of us believe when it's all said and done, she will be the one that's considered the GOAT.
Aaliyah Boston dominating the paint. Kelsey Mitchell with a deadly scoring touch. Veterans like DeWanna Bonner, Brianna Turner, and Natasha Howard rounding out the depth chart. And the moment Sophie Cunningham compared Clark to a young Diana Taurasi, that wasn't a compliment, it was a warning.
How she felt the team was gelling and how she felt about the addition of DeWanna Bonner. She basically said that when she talks, people listen. And she kind of wants to win it all for her. Here it is.
DB's been tremendous, and obviously, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too. She's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and just the way she talks and she leads. For me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the end of her career. She deserves it.
Indiana isn't chasing momentum anymore. They are the momentum. And the rest of the league is starting to realize this isn't a fluke. This is the beginning of something massive. What's happening in Indiana is no longer just a buzz. It's a full-blown takeover. The front office didn't just draft a star and hope for the best. They built an empire around her. Caitlyn Clark is the face. But the foundation is solid and the strategy is clear. Win now.
The average paid price for a Fever away game in 2025 was $272, up from $171 in 2024. The average is $197 for a Fever home game, more than double the $92 from last season. Wow.
Veterans were handpicked not just for their experience, but for their ability to amplify Clark's style. Players who know how to move, cut, and finish around the most electric passer in basketball today. Sophie Cunningham's arrival brought more than firepower. It brought credibility. When she said playing with Clark feels like playing with Taurasi in her prime, people listen.
Sophie Cunningham is pumped to play with Caitlyn Clark, even comparing her new teammate to a WNBA legend.
Because that kind of praise doesn't get tossed around lightly, especially from someone who's been on the floor with legends. DeWanna Bonner added championship DNA to the locker room, the kind of leader who doesn't just talk, but transforms culture. Even players like Kelsey Mitchell, already one of the league's most underrated scorers, have taken their game up another level with Clark creating space and opportunity every time she touches the ball.
Everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take your clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It feels different. It feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership. So I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere. It feels good.
How does that help you guys elevate even more for the players who are returning?
It makes it easier. I remember this time last year, it didn't feel good. So we have to get that in order first, for people to start playing well. It's like the domino effect. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else way easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but way easier.
And behind it all, the Fever are working like a machine. From marketing to roster building to media control, they've flipped their entire identity from forgotten to feared. Their Now You Know campaign isn't just a slogan, it's a mission statement. Every game, home or away, is now a Fever event. Every opponent knows that stepping onto the court with Indiana means more cameras, more pressure, and more noise than they have ever seen before.
She takes over, she maestros, she controls game after game after game with her passing and her carefully chosen spots to score.
Odds makers are taking it seriously. DraftKings now ranks Indiana as a top 4 favorite to win it all. FanDuel? They've tied the Fever with last season's champs in projected odds. That's not speculation. That's respect. Real, earned, undeniable respect. This isn't just about Caitlyn Clark breaking records. It's about a franchise putting the entire league on notice. The Indiana Fever are coming, and they're coming with fire.
So all the rookies are in Indiana. They were at the Pacers game, tossing out shirts with the rest of the team. So hot off the presses, the Indiana Fever have dropped a workout video, which has Bree Hall, it has Yvonne Ejim, and it has Michaela Timpson showing off their stuff with Caitlyn Clark.
The shift isn't just happening on the court, it's echoing through every layer of the sport. From ownership meetings to broadcast deals, the Indiana Fever have become the nucleus of a new WNBA era. What once was a team buried at the bottom of the standings is now the standard. Other franchises are no longer focused on beating Indiana. They're trying to catch up to what the Fever have already built.
So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, every game is a home game. And then on the back, it says, now you know, with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home game. They are leaning in to what we have known since last season. We knew that this was the Indiana Fever. We knew that they were breaking barriers. We knew that they were breaking records. We knew that they were selling out. We knew that they were causing other teams to move their games to other arenas. Now they're standing on it.
And it's all happening faster than anyone thought possible. Caitlyn Clark didn't just raise the expectations for her own game, she raised the ceiling for what's possible in the league. Networks are scrambling to flex more Fever games into primetime slots. Merch sales are up across the board. And behind closed doors, executives are rethinking how they scout, draft, and market around a single player. Because Clark has proved what few ever have, that one player, when properly supported, can flip the entire trajectory of a franchise.
The next team, as we go through our WNBA preview, is the team that I know many of you are fascinated by. It's the team that I don't know what the odds are in the sports books up there in North Carolina, Mitch, but certainly nationally, the conversation when it comes to the WNBA surrounds the Indiana Fever, the second season of Caitlyn Clark in the W, and how this team that's been retooled with a new coach, they've brought in some veteran players. You can make the argument they're in win now mode, combined with that young core that they still have predominantly on rookie contracts.
What's most dangerous for the rest of the league isn't just that Indiana's winning, it's that they're doing it with chemistry, hunger, and a terrifying level of confidence. The Fever aren't playing catch-up anymore. They're setting the pace, and as the 2025 season charges forward, every team in the WNBA knows the same truth.
The Indiana Fever being that premier team, being the team that has 41 out of 44 games, nationally televised, being that team that everyone wants to see, they have to make sure that they're setting them up for a great product.
The road to the title runs straight through Indiana. Caitlyn Clark didn't just break another record, she cracked open the door to a new dynasty. The Indiana Fever, once overlooked and written off, are now the heartbeat of the WNBA.
Last year in 2024, the Fever had 11 games in 20 games. 11 games in 20 days, 5 home, 6 away, and 2 back-to-backs. And in 2025, they have 11 games in 32 days, 7 home, 4 away, and 0 back-to-back.
Every pass, every play, every packed arena is proof that this team isn't hoping to win in 2025. They're built to own it. The league has never seen a force like this, a rookie rewriting history, a roster built for war, a franchise that went from forgotten to feared in one season flat.
I think anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. And the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but it doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball. And so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable. And so you'll see the 5 bring the ball down. So it's going to be a little different for other teams to play defense against us as well.
The Fever aren't chasing a title. They're setting the pace for one. And every sign points to one unstoppable conclusion. This is Caitlyn Clark's league now. And the Indiana Fever are about to take the crown.
And I want to personally thank Caitlyn Clark for lifting up our sport. And it just is not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's gonna lift that league up.
One more thing on Caitlyn, which makes her super valuable, is she is leading the WNBA in points generated, which means points scored and or points assisted on. She is leading the league by a significant margin, and she is doing this as a rookie with a Fever team that is not comprised of a bunch of all-stars.
Caitlyn Caitlyn Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
Caitlyn Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark is box office. She's doing this.
And my advice to anyone that comes in with this, this level of like notoriety, out of this world expectation, whatever the case may be, I just think it's all about having, be a horse, man. The Kentucky Derby, put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game, work on your craft.
Caitlyn Clark is box office. She is a star.
Who, by the way, I'm going to go there, who happens to be white and brought a level of attention and allure to the sport it had not received before.
If you're a Caitlyn Clark fan and want to support her, type CC Rocks in the comments. And share and subscribe the channel to get new updates daily. Thank you for watching.